Hello and welcome to my Evitania playthrough. This is going to be a playthrough where we go through the game with a guide teaching you how to play and what you need to do. So here we are on the home screen. If you aren't here yet, it's probably because you need to make an account, so just do that and here we go. So once you load into the game, there'll be your character here and there'll be some enemies here. So all you have to do is click on the ground and you can move around anywhere you'd like to go. And if you want to attack the enemies, you just have to click on them and your character will automatically attack them for you. So as you can see, we have a quest in the top left. This wants us to kill 3 boars like we just did. So now we've killed it, we can claim the reward. And it's auto combat. Auto combat is a very important mechanic in the game. This allows us to move and attack automatically, meaning that we can turn it on and just leave it to play by itself. As you can see, my character's attacking and moving without me having to input anything. And then we can complete the next quest, or it's to kill 7 boars. And to complete that, we get some boar meat, what is just a drop from the enemies, as you can see here. You just click on the drops to pick them up, and they go straight into your inventory, what we haven't unlocked yet. So as you can see, we have leveled up. Oh, we just leveled up right now actually, perfect timing. This is where we go to talents. As you can see, there's a red marker. You get a skill point every single time you level up. This allows you to pick a node and upgrade it each time. As you can see, we're in the novice skill tree for now. This has a few nodes in it, and we have to get every single one until we get to here. This is where we have a choice of our class, what unlocks a much broader skill tree and gives us many more options. As you can see, there's mage, rogue, and warrior. For this playthrough, we will be going through warrior, and we will be playing through that skill tree, but feel free to play any that you like. Warrior is the best class at the moment, followed by rogue and then mage, but just because mage is the worst class at the moment doesn't mean that you shouldn't or can't play it. So let's just put some points in some basic skills. It doesn't really matter at the moment, and continue. So to continue, we just have to go through these green portals that will take us to the next zone. There we go. So now we have entered the town. This is the hub of the game. So normally there's other players here. There's many different things we can do, but for now we have very limited access. So we claim the quest, gives us some more gold, and it wants us to now craft a weapon. So to craft a weapon, you need materials, and we can get the material to craft our first weapon right here at this merchant. So you just click on her, and she takes you into a shop. In a shop there's many different options of what to buy, but what we want is a piece of straw. So we just get one for 1 gold and then we can continue. So now we have the resources. The next thing is to actually craft a weapon. This requires us to go to the blacksmith over here. He allows us to craft different weapons, different armor, accessories. He also allows us to repair our items and accessories as well. So here we are, we have the wooden sword unlocked. It has some base stats. Nothing too crazy, it is the first weapon we get in the game, and we can craft it. So there we go, we've crafted it. We can now claim the quest, more gold. We will have a use for gold later on. It's mainly used for upgrading your character's stats or for going to the shops. So now we have our weapon. It doesn't automatically equip in this game, so you have to go into your inventory down here, and you can either drag it around to equip it, or you can click it and just press equip. So now we've got our weapon. Our next quest is to loot from 4 wasps. So to get to the next zone, where the next enemy is, we just go through the green portal. Here we have another prompt, what is how to loot. All you have to do is move your finger over the items and click, just like we did in the first zone. So now to kill 4 wasps, we just put auto on again, because it saves us having to do it all ourselves, and we just have to wait for the RNG drops from the wasp. It can only take 30 seconds to a minute. It's normally quite easy. And here we are. We've got the loot from the 4 wasps, and now we can claim the quest. So this gives us a straw hat and 5,000 gold. The straw hat is an armor item in this game. It's just a basic defense item, nothing too fancy. We can just drag it on and continue. So our next quest is to mine copper ore. There is no copper ore here, and we have to get to the next area to complete that. So we've killed enough wasps to unlock the next portal, so we can turn auto off and continue. Here we are. So in this next map there's a new different enemy, and there's this here. This is an ore vein, and all you have to do to mine ore veins is click on them. Our character comes with a standard pickaxe as we start the game, but you can upgrade these and get different stats on them later on. So as you see, we just mine the ore and get 4 copper ore to continue. Okay, now we have our 4 copper ore, we can claim the quest. I like to just leave them mining whilst I'm doing other things because it means we're not wasting any time and we're still being efficient. We have mining XP. There is levels in the mining talent tree that will make our mining easier and more rewarding. We have solid fuel, which is something we will use to smelt ores into bars, and this just speeds up the process. And we have a town teleport. This will take you to the town on your first use, but once you unlock the map, the town teleport is completely useless, so you don't have to worry about it. So we collect the rest of our resources, because if we leave the zone without collecting them, we will lose the drop. So now we can go into inventory, activate the teleport, and we're straight back into town. As you can see, there's other players in the town now, because this isn't the tutorial version of the town anymore, and we have to go to the smeltery with its lovely sign and make our copper bars. So all we need for copper bars is copper. We don't require anything else but copper and time. As you can see with other bars like iron, you need a wood source, so you need ash logs as a way to fuel them. And there's different types of fuel that go to different types of bars. So we don't need 5, we just need 2 copper bars, so that will go right there. During the quest it wants you to use this to skip the time. It skips 30 minutes of time, so it's not necessary for this quest, but you have to do it anyway. So now we have our copper bars, we can claim the quest, more town teleports, more gold. Personally, I just want to drop them, just drop my inventory, because they are completely useless. So now we can go back to the blacksmith, and you see we've got more things unlocked. We have different weapons, we have an axe, we have another pickaxe, what makes our mining power better, but we want the boots to continue our quests. Strength, dexterity and intellect, these are all stats that are based on your class, they each do something different. Strength is mainly for warriors, dexterity is for rogues, and intellect's for mages. Accuracy doesn't really do anything, movement speed is very nice for farming, and defense is obviously very important. So we craft our armor piece and then we can equip it just like everything else and claim our quest. As you can see, we've unlocked the map here and we've got some more gold. The thing on the map is now we can teleport anywhere we want, so we go straight back to where we were and we can go straight back to town again. See, we don't need those teleports at all, but we can go straight to the pebbles. As you can see, we're back and we need to kill 30. So that's going to take a little while for us, so we'll come back when we've killed 30. Here we are, we've just killed 30 pebbles and now we can claim our quest. So it gives us more town teleports and more gold. Well, you know what I think about town teleports? Completely useless, but now we can go back to our talent tree again and you should have a lot more points to use. So you just pick anyone you want, and there we go. And now you are at your class choice. You can change your class later in the game, but if you click here, class change, it takes you to the store. These cost a premium currency, and it costs 30 gems to reset your class. So at the moment we have no gems, but we can get quite an abundance of them for free. But I'd rather not waste them on constantly changing my class. So I'm going to pick warrior and stick with it. Here we are in the warrior tree. If you can see, it's a lot bigger and has a lot more options. We also have the mining tree down here. This will give us things like mining power, multi-loot, what's very useful, and more XP. So we can also put our points into getting more mining power. The warrior tree has a lot of different skills. This is where you get 90% of your power and skills. So the skills are very important. This one here is Cleave. It allows us to strike enemies in front of the caster, dealing 100% attack damage. It costs mana and has a 3-second cooldown. Mana is our little blue pot down here. It's not really too big of an issue because over time you'll build up mana as you progress. So now our next quest is to level up any stat with the Hunter. The Hunter is in the next zone, so we can just follow the portal through and continue. Once we get the game, we get a survey. I do like the game. So now we can continue. As you can see, there is a different enemy again. This is the same for every single level, there's always a different enemy. But there's also a tree here. We can chop this tree for ash logs, and we can use these logs for different resources, different crafts, different smelts. We don't need any now, so we can leave it for now. All we need is the Hunter. Watch this funny looking guy. So you just click on the Hunter and go straight to him. He gives us a lot of upgrades. As you can see, there's ones here what increase your max HP and regeneration. There's ones that increase your attack, defense, crit chance, mining, axes, smeltery speed, and there's ones that make it cheaper as well. So before you start upgrading, you want to put some into cost reduction to save some resources. So I'm just going to dump as much gold as I can into it now because we don't really need it for anything else. And then I'll put the rest of my loot into anything I can. So that's what these green little crosses mean. This means that you can upgrade them. So there we go. We've completed the quest and we've received an hourglass and more gold. Hourglasses are very useful and can only be purchased through premium currency or events and dailies. So with your hourglasses, they allow you to skip time in the game. So if you're farming an enemy using hourglass, it will give you the loot for killing an hour's worth of those enemies, even though you didn't do that yourself. It is affected by your offline gains rate. You start with 50%, so it is a lot more efficient to actually play the game actively and just put it on auto and leave it AFK. But later on you can get offline game rates higher than 100%, meaning that it's more efficient for you to actually be offline on the game when farming, but it just depends on everything here. So we can put auto on attack and we will just use our hourglass to get an hour's worth of kills on these guys. So you can see we got a lot of gold, a lot of XP, we killed 900 of them in that hour and we got a bunch of resources. So hold down the click button and swipe over it or to claim it, and then claim our chest. We get the hunting key. These are used to fight bosses. You need one key to fight a boss and get its loot. They will be on the next area. So now we can go back to him. Now we have a bunch of resources again, and we can make it cheaper, give it some speed, and increase our accuracy. Accuracy doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's more stats, and more stats is good. So let's move on to the next area. Next area is these little chompy guys, and there's a special door here. This door leads to a boss fight. You'll notice there's ones in every single boss fight. They might look a little bit different, but there's a distinct difference to these ones in that they have a red glow instead of a green one. And as you can see, we can't progress until we kill this boss. So we have to kill 100 of these guys. So I want to get to killing 100 of these, and we'll get back to when I have done. Just seeing that the game does start off quite slow, but I mean it is an idle RPG, so most of the time it's expected for it to play the game whilst you're not there, so it can just be a lot of grind, but you don't have to actually play the game whilst grinding. Here we are, we're about to be done, just 2 more kills. So whilst we wait, we can just upgrade our talent tree again. So the talent tree is important because depending on what you pick will unlock the next path all the way through to the end. These light blue ones, or the turquoise, will be your skills, and there's different upgrades to your skills as you play along. So for now, I'd like to get the 3 defense points so we can get our first skill. This is Last Stand. It gives us 500 health and heals us. It's very useful and keeps you alive for a lot longer. But I'd like to upgrade our Cleave next. What was the first thing we unlocked? And to get to that, we have to get Attack, and then we have to get more maximum mana, and we have unlocked it. After that, we will go towards the next skill slots because the skills are much more important than the individual stats. So the best thing to do is just to progress the tree until you can get all of the skills. You can reset the trees just like how you can reset the classes. And so if you make any mistakes or you don't like the build you've picked, you can reset it and start fresh. But in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. There is no best choice. It's just whatever you think is best for your character. So as you can see, we've now unlocked the red portal for the boss. So you can go straight through and fight him. As you can see, it's a big plant. You can put auto on and attack him. Those red markers are indicators for an attack. So we could just attack him for now and wait for his next attack. He's going to spit out this little plant and put poisonous gas. So all you have to do is walk up to the plant and attack it and walk away from the gas and go back to attacking him again. He will do a head slam very soon. Here we go. All you have to do is move out of the radius, and if you leave it on auto, your character will go back to attacking him whilst he's on the floor. That attack does a lot of damage, so it's important that you get out of the way. You can just keep clicking like I do, but in some situations turning auto off and manually clicking to where you want to go is important because your character will just run straight back to the boss again. And sometimes they don't interact straight away because they're in an animation. So there we go. We killed the first boss of the game. We got a ring of strength and some more gold. A ring of strength is a basic accessory. It just gives us a little bit of strength and a little bit of defense. So we'll equip that. And then we can go straight to our chest and use one of those keys we got earlier to unlock it. You can't do this multiple times, sadly. You have to fight the boss again each time, but it's not that difficult. So now that we've killed the boss, we can go straight back to town again and claim our next reward. This has given us a Bringer of Death card. The cards are passive stat increases that we can get from killing enemies. See, there's ones here for each enemy in the act and each boss in the act. Each enemy has a low chance of dropping a card for the normal ones, but the bosses have a significantly higher rate of drops. So as you can see, we have a 1 in 2 chance of getting a card from him, and there is different things he can drop. There's the Death Flower, what's a resource we can use to get armor or weapons. There's an amulet, that's another accessory. We can get some more fuel for the furnace. We can get some teleports, what are useless, and we can get an enhanced stone. An enhanced stone allows us to upgrade our weapons and armor, and also your pickaxe and your axe, making them stronger. So we can now look at the card itself. It gives us 6% more combat XP, so it's just more XP. And we have 2 cards. Once we get the full 6, this card will turn green and it will be upgraded to 2 stars. And at 2 stars, it will give you 12% combat XP. This can go up to a maximum of 3 different tiers, and once you've got the maximum, you can't get any more. So here we are in the town again. It wants us to craft a copper weapon. What do we need to craft a copper weapon? I don't know. But because we're playing the warrior, we want a sword, and that is 10 copper bars, 10 McStoney faces, what we get from the pebbles, and the death flower we got from the boss. So all you need to do is go back to where we were before, kill the enemies there, mine the copper in the same zone, because both of these are in the same place, and just smelt down the copper bars. But that is going to be all for this first episode. I'm not sure if it's worth to go through the entire game on this account, or just to show you what you need to do on my main account, because I can show you each zone, each item, and what you need to do. If you guys can tell me in the comments what you'd prefer, I can follow that accordingly. I also could stream the progress to you as well, because it's going to take a while, especially with some of the grinds. but I'm happy just to cut it out and continue. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.